trying to figure out what kind of conditions Sotterley was in, resources and everything else, what condition was the infrastructure in, the mansion and everything, and I didn't find out as much about it as until I became president. And I knew that there wasn't a lot of money there, but you know, I was willing to take on the job and just see what I could do with it. And once I became president, then I really found out how little or no money Sotterley had. The fact that the mansion, being a wooden structure basically, had been tortured by time and use, and it was in very bad shape. That Ms. Ingalls kept it glued together out of her pocket. She'd fix whatever was. Nothing was done by need. It was done by necessity. If the roof leaked, they'd patch it up, or if need a little paint here, they'd paint it, but just enough to keep it going. And of course, we had to have it repaired properly with proper restoration people. I guess the great accomplishments was getting in touch with Richard Moe, and we told him, we said, we really have to seriously consider, we don't think we're going to make it. I told him we'd borrowed enough money to keep us going, but just realistically, we're not going to make it. We can't do it. Don't have the revenues. And we were wondering if maybe you could find somebody who would take it and we could sell it to him. He says, oh, you can't do that. He said, well, we don't have much choice. Oh, no, you can't do that. He said, that place is it's just too valuable. He said, there've got to be a way to save this place. He said, do you know Steny Hoyer? I said, I served in the legislature with him. I know him very well. He said, well, he's very helpful to us in the National Trust, and I'll bet you he will help and do everything he can. And you hold on. Don't go doing anything rash. Sotterley's not going to be sold. But we did get the Department of the Interior to come in there and fix that mansion up that was falling to pieces. Steny Hoyer was the great mover of that. He did all the groundwork, and with his influence got the Department of the Interior to recognize the need to repair this place. We all know that Sotterley, again, is not out of the danger zone. It's still struggling to keep it going, but of course this goes back, we're talking about 15 years ago. 15 years ago, and it's still breathing. Sotterley's still breathing. But the one thing I regret is that I wasn't able to, and it's just not my nature, asking people for money and that kind of thing. I always wanted to create an endowment where you go out and you've got to get that pot of money. And you go out and get significant people who really care for Sotterley and say, we've got to have this, and we're going to use it to keep Sotterley going, get that little nest egg up there and just keep funding it, and try to live off the interest and have the principal there for emergencies. That's how endowments work. You cannot survive with just fees and weddings and events, wine festivals. You cannot live off that. And I'm sorry I didn't get to do that. There are enough people out there, I really believe this, that have been exposed to Sotterley who have the means and the treasury, or the treasure, who, if Sotterley ever got to that point where we were before, that people would step up to the plate and not let that place go. There's just got there are people out there that wouldn't let that happen. I believe that. Now, had a good run and met a lot of wonderful people too. Wonderful people. It's really worth saving. There's no question about it.